Oh, come on. Looks like the retarded man-child is back, and sooner than I expected, because I messed up. Imagine that. I know it doesn't happen a lot, but... I made a whole rant about Pickle Rick and how I hated him, and then I watched it again, and then I loved him, so it's great. What a great rant I've made that I can now only use ironically. So here's the retarded man-child explaining why Pickle Rick is annoying, which is wrong because Pickle Rick is actually amazing. Even that subplot that I didn't like, it grew on me and now I like it, so... Well, here it goes. Oh, and by the way, I got a webcam. How do you like this? Yeah, way more practical than recording on my phone and then combining this audio and the phone. It's great. I enjoy the Pickle Rick. I'm Pickle Rick.
Okay, I may have f***ed up here.
I feel Pickle Rick has the most interesting battle scenes and general adventures in possibly all of the Rick and Morty series, which is too bad because it's also the dumbest episode of all time. What a huge waste of time. First of all, let's say how incredibly beautiful this world is where Rick gets flushed down the toilet and then has to lick cockroaches so he can build himself a little cyborg suit so that the little Pickle Rick can go and fight the big... whoever the fuck that even is. Who is that? The worst Rick and Morty character of all time?
Where is it? It seems to be using the air ducts and the mail tubes to get around. It's been gathering office supplies, we think, to build weaponry.
Retarded guy in a suit, or should I say generic guy in a suit, multiplied by 40. Yeah, that wasn't the worst character ever in the Flying Face Monsters. It's even worse now, because now they've got weird accents and disgusting unibrows. It is too bad. I think this is the episode that has the most wasted potential in it. I think this is the episode that has the most retarded, pointless conversation in it of all time. And when you go back, there's always been a little bit of retarded conversation in Rick and Morty's. Like there's the part with the mustache. There's always been retarded subplots as well. God, that part where Jerry and Bess are on this Titanic cruise ship. God, that was just the dumbest thing ever. That's what Rick and Morty does the worst. If it just tries to be real life, it just tries to be anything without sci-fi, it's just the worst. Who fucking cares if Bess and Jerry go on a fucking cruise ship? At least that one had a good fucking payoff though. Oh god. Fucking disgusting rapist woman, yes. This one has nothing. This is literally the worst subplot of all time. Okay, we got the main plot, which is Rick has been turned into a pickle and he has to fight for survival. That's beautiful, right? It doesn't get any better than that. When Rick is limited in the things he can do, I think that's where he's the best. Where he really has to think outside of the box or outside of the pickle. Praise me, I'm the comedy god. I'm almost tempted to cut this episode a lot of slack because Rick and Morty was previously the best show ever, and also because usually in episodic shows the first 3 episodes of a show aren't usually the best, and it just gets better and better the closer to the finale it gets. But for Rick and Morty that's not the case, because they've always had brilliant episodes right from the start. God, the first episode so good. The second episode of the first season, talking here, Lawnmower Dog, that was so groundbreakingly beautiful and thought out and amazing. And now we have fucking visited the psychiatrist. Oh my god. But I guess I'm still kinda hooked for Rick and Morty. It's just too bad that they shit the bed with this episode. And the last one too, fucking Mad Max, Rick and Morty. It was alright, but the whole psychology of Rick and Morty is really a problem right now. I really wish they would get rid of that whole concept. When he has to think outside the box, it's great. But when you see him build those little tools and those wooden mech suits in the Ricks Must Be Crazy, that part is pretty awesome. But all that's pointless because the entire episode is pointless and garbage, which is really too bad. I have never had this problem before, where when I'm rewatching the episode, I just had to skip half the conversations, because the conversations are just so goddamn painfully retarded that it just hurts. Oh my god. Okay, so here it is. This is the second episode where Morty and his sister are dealing with the issue of the divorce, which is really pretty dumb altogether, because that's the kind of stuff that I'm not interested in, and I can't imagine anyone else being interested in a fictional family that has gone through so much bullshit being affected by something as mundane as a divorce. What could possibly be more mundane than a divorce? They've been shot at, they fought for their lives a million times, but what they can't handle is a fucking divorce. Are you kidding me? And that's not even Rick. That's just the family being pulled into the office of this psychiatrist because they've been acting out in class, and then she talks about Rick the entire time, even though, is that really the issue? Do they have to talk about Rick? I guess they have to. I guess it makes sense that they want to talk about Rick, but they don't want to talk about Rick. I don't want to talk about psychologists. The characters don't want to talk about these things, and in the end, the moral of the story is that they don't care about what the psychologist had to say, and it was all a waste of time, and we had to sit through it. Why? Why did we have to sit through it? Why did you have to make this the subplot? Is there literally nothing else that you could have told? Is there literally no story that would have been worth telling that you fucking could have told here? I don't think it could have possibly been any worse than what we got. If we just have this Pickle Rick having to fight for his life in the sewers killing rats, that would have been brilliant. But couldn't we have come up with a better reason for it? He turned himself into a fucking pickle and nearly died 100 times just so you wouldn't have to go to the psychologist. Oh, is that so, huh? Is that how far we'd like to go to avoid going to the psychologist, eh? Well, fuck me! Why didn't we just write a better script to avoid going to the psychologist? Wouldn't that have been something? God. He could have incepted someone to... He could have incepted Morty and the sister to make them get over the fucking divorce, or alternatively, in a non-retarded show, we could have just skipped it. We could have just skipped forward to 2 or 3 months until they fucking dealt with the divorce. You don't have to show the bullshit. It's exactly the point of telling a story, is to leave out the bullshit. The Pickle Rick story would have been so much more interesting if an enemy had turned Rick into a pickle and he would have had to survive, instead of him just being retarded and turning himself into a pickle and then fighting for his life because he's too retarded to deal with the emotional drama of losing a character who he doesn't even like from the show. Oh my god. I thought the point of getting rid of Jerry is to get rid of the mundane bullshit. But we just get more mundane bullshit. And the way this is set up, it seems like the return of Jerry is something we're going to have to look forward to because the characters are too retarded to live without Jerry. Which already would have been fine. You could have just kept him then, couldn't you? I mean, they put up for 2 seasons with Jerry because obviously he's not even that bad. He just finds himself in stupid situations. Well, Jerry by himself, he's not that bad. I mean, he's pretty much just a vanilla, boring dad. And I love vanilla, boring dads. There's nothing wrong with that. Even though he obviously has some issues with being a real beta male and just being really weak ass. But whatever. We have that in Morty as well, and Rick, he's supposed to be a genius. He fucking turns himself into a pickle and nearly dries out. I mean, how many times did he nearly die? He nearly died from the cat. He nearly died from the sun. Was only saved because it started raining. Oh boy, you really planned that one out, Rick. He nearly got killed by rats. He nearly got killed by cockroaches. All just because he couldn't have gone to the psychologist. Why didn't he just kill the psychologist? Then he wouldn't have had to go to her. Oh my god. And look at this fucking retarded inside the episode that you're giving me here.
It's not an adventure.
Yeah, it's boring. It's hard work. It's like shoveling a driveway. Deciding that you want to be a healthier person. Who would want to do that? It's like, it sucks.
Therapy is a real pickle, you know? Therapy is a real pickle.
Oh my god, you know it's boring, do you? Why did you fucking make it then? God. Rick and Morty, Pickle Rick. The worst episode of Rick and Morty. Not because it's the worst, but because it has the most lost potential. All the potential is right there. All you had to do is insert a proper villain and made Rick not retarded. I mean, Rick is supposed to be the smartest guy ever, and he's this fucking dumb. I mean, obviously we're going to deal with Rick being retarded in that episode 6 preview that we've seen, where he just does insane adventures all the time that endanger his life, and he deals with the reasons why. God, does that mean we're gonna have to deal with that bullshit the entire time until then? Ah, man. Okay, here's my pitch. Why don't you just flush that shit down the toilet? Why don't you just bring back Evil Morty, and he turned Rick into a pickle? How about that? All the issues are gone. Maybe even Evil Morty impersonating real Morty, so that Morty has to fight for something too in the meantime while Rick is flushed down the toilet. Imagine how cool would that be? That would be so much simpler and so much better. And why are we even... Why is this even a thing that comes up as a potential story? Isn't there anything at all? We've got the Federation of Rick collapsing. We got the government collapsing. We got the Galactic... Was that a Federation? Oh yeah, it was a Council of Rick and a Galactic Federation. But both of them are fucked! And Rick is there. He could pick up the pieces. He could have a story. He could try to... He could try to fix a nuclear reactor that's going to overload because the Galactic Federation is gone and they're the only one who kept it in check. No, nothing of that. Everything is literally fine. And that's why we have to deal with the most mundane, stupid story of all time told in a Rick and Morty episode. Fucking tragic. Well, what did you think of it? Write a comment and let me know how wrong I was about the pickles. Well, that was just sad, wasn't it? All these great points that I made, they're all wrong. Pickle Rick is amazing. And I'm sure the mental health arc of Rick is probably gonna turn out alright eventually. I mean, that episode 6 looked really good. Not sure what the next episodes will be, but I'm sure it's gonna be great, right? Well, how do you like that? Fucking gameplay of Edmund's new game. The end is nigh. That was pretty good. I liked playing that game. I went into hell, apparently. Why did I pick it up and I can't set it down? Ah! Yeah. Even put in a picture of Adam, the cock. Adam Cockover, who doesn't believe that there are alpha males. And he believes that we're closely related to the bonobos. Oh my god. Well, definitely comment. Tell me what you think of Adam. I'm tickled pink, the moon is yellow, and I'm your fellow tonight. I'll never hurt you again.